if everything being said against the Speaker of the 11th Parliament of Uganda, Honorable Anitah Amongi, is true, then the difference between her and those who have stolen in this country before her is character. When you go to steal from a poor village, you do not go carrying what you have stolen on your head. It is dangerous. You risk being attacked, firstly, by the thieves who were absent by the time you went stealing. And these, upon seeing what you're carrying on your head, assumes that you have stolen everything, and they have literally nothing left for them to steal the next day when they go stealing. And these ones are more dangerous. They can easily beat you into coma because they believe you are a danger to the sustainability of their work. You will also be attacked by another group of citizens, the good citizens, the moralists. These ones understand that stealing is a bad practice. Number one, for development, and two, it undermines also the morality of society. So they will attack you and beat you to correct your behavior. These ones are a little bit lenient because they understand that away from your bad behavior of stealing, if you repented, if you revised your bad behavior, you can still be an important citizen. So they spare you at a certain level, but they beat you to correct you. You will also be attacked by another group of people, and these ones are the poor from whom you have stolen. These ones are both angry and angry. They will beat you and beat you seriously. So Honorable Amongi's story is very interesting. We saw the Speaker here launch her multi-billion home. Earlier on, she had given her boyfriend a Range Rover, very expensive Range Rover, as a birthday gift for her husband. We also saw her here invite the president to launch an initiative at her nursing school in Bukadia, where she named a classroom block after the president. These all things were strange in the eyes of Ugandans, especially from a leader of a caliber in a nation that is struggling to do business. When the government of the UK sanctioned her, I was very interested to hear the government's position, because in the past, when the sanctioned government usually comes up with an official statement, as it was the case when they sanctioned General Kale Kaihura alongside General Abel Kandiho. So, unlike in the past, when the government issues official statement, this time there was no official statement from the government, except the statement that, of course, came from the Parliament through Chris Obori, and that had everything to do with defending the person of the Speaker and not issuing the stand of government. When the government did not issue the statement regarding the sanctioning of the Speaker, I became a little curious. The government would not risk contradicting itself. Firstly, the government of the UK had sanctioned the Speaker on claims that she was involved in the stealing of Karamoja iron sheets. And the government of Uganda all around had also punished some of the Karamoja iron sheet thieves, coded thieves. I mean, the Mabati thieves had been punished here. We saw in the reshuffle when Agnes Nandutu and Kirutu were dropped as ministers. It was a punishment. And earlier on, we had also seen some of them being arrested. So the fact that the UK government had capitalized on something that the government of Uganda had condemned publicly, including punishing part of those who were involved, meant that the government would not risk taking on that cause. But again, it became very interesting when the president picked interest in the case of the Speaker owning properties in the UK, of course, arguing his case along the line of one, morality, and two, also ideology. So we saw it take a turn of shift. We saw it become very interesting in the eyes of everyone who follows political events in this country. Now, the Speaker, of course, kept struggling to defend herself, one, her international image, and two, also her internal image here. But she focused so much on the UK government and also had to throw some outrageous allegation that she had been sanctioned not because she was involved in the Karamoja iron sheet saga, but because she had single-handedly, on behalf of Ugandans, fought against homosexuality. But we looked very critically close to the events that followed after the UK government sanctioned the Speaker. Firstly, the person who brought the homosexuality bill in Parliament had not been sanctioned. So that also watered down the Speaker's argument that she was being targeted because she was heavily involved in the passing of the anti-homosexuality bill. So immediately after the UK government sanctioned the Speaker, we also saw the government of United Arab Emirates sanction her as well. And the fact that UAE is not known openly, he's not known to support homosexuality, it literally also watered down the Speaker's argument that she was being targeted for her stand against homosexuality. But very interesting, she missed a very big point, that whereas the sanctions would undermine her international image, they had a very, very, very big turn on her relevancy and her authority here in the country, because one, the sanctions proved to Ugandans that thieves can be punished. People who take what is not rightly theirs can be punished. So Ugandans got excited. But the Speaker's focus on the international image was an error, because there are people who in the country were not happy with everything that was happening. When you look at the people who revealed the Speaker's transactions, that of course brought the country on a standstill. The activists who revealed the Speaker's transactions are moralists. These are people with very good intentions. These are people who wish this nation well. And they did it simply because they want to save the country. But of course, these activists cannot access Speaker's transactions. So I am made to believe that there is somebody somewhere who had to give these people information. The intention of this person giving these people information is what must be of great concern to the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, if at all she's to escape the internal wrath here in Uganda for the actions that are being alleged against her. One, people can do good things but with wrong intention. If the activists' intention were good and they also did the right thing, the people who gave them information might have been doing the good thing. I'm just making my assumptions. Might have done the good thing but with wrong intentions to bring her down, because or they are also just tired of the system and they want to bring an end to it. But of course, in everything that is bad, good things emerge, and there are people who normally benefit from such things. So I believe the Speaker would have concentrated very much on the impact of the sanctions, not on the international image, but on her internal authority, on her integrity here in Uganda. Because if Ugandans lose faith in you, you can easily be voted out as a member of Parliament. They can easily vote you out as a Speaker of the Parliament, and then you lose literally everything in a blink of an eye. So the Speaker would have focused a lot to look at how she harmonize, reconcile, and make peace with the people, with Ugandans. Whether that would mean paying back what they alleged she had taken, the Mabati, or any other thing that you can, or even coming out with a concrete statement about the truth of the matter of our transactions as was alleged during the exhibition. Because sanctions can be lifted. The Speaker's assets being freezed in the UK does not literally mean that she has lost her properties. She can negotiate, she can lobby her way out using people or herself, and or even the government acting on her behalf, and the sanctions are lifted. But the damage here in the country can be deadly. So the Speaker, I think, to save herself, to save her image right now, should concentrate on understanding the impact of all the sanctions and the impact of her actions and the impact of the allegations here in the country, and focus on addressing it the right way by engaging even the right person, reconciling with those she has been alleging that are trying to pull her down through dialogue, and forge her way out. You see, in my culture, we are fishermen, and they say a man who's drowning in water can easily jump on a crocodile thinking it's a rescue boat. So the Speaker should not go directly attacking the UK government, because the UK government has no duty to prove to anyone that the Speaker has a property in the UK. But the property in the UK, which has been revealed by the UK government, can be used as a weapon here in Uganda. 1, to criminalize her actions. 2, to undermine her integrity. And 3, also to destroy her reputation. So she has to focus so much, 1, and see how she reconciles herself, especially here internally. The Speaker's story is very interesting and reminds me of a story we used to tell when we were growing up about the tortoise. The tortoise had a visit to heaven, and it borrowed feathers from its friends, and also at the same time asked the friends to go with him for his visit to heaven. But before they set off, the tortoise had to sit down with his friends and give themselves names, so that when they reach heaven, these names can be used for easy identification. So the tortoise was first to choose the name, and he called himself Mr. All of Us. So when they reached heaven and they were welcomed very well and food was served, he asked the person who brought the food, whose food is this? And the person who brought the food said, the food is for all of you. So he was very quick and asked, you said the food is for all of us? Yes. And then the tortoise turned to his friends and said, you see, this food is for all of us. And I think you understand who is going to eat this food. So he ate alone. When supper was brought, it was also the same story. The food became for all of us, and Mr. All of Us ate all the food. So the next morning, his colleagues, the birds, got annoyed, and they withdrew all their feathers from him. And so he had no mean to fly back on earth. So for them, they told him that they were going to live in heaven. So he pleaded before they left and said, please, if you get down there, and tell my wife I am coming, but I am coming in style. So he should prepare for me feathers, all softy things, mattresses and other blankets, all clothes in the house, so that I can land on a soft space. But when the birds reached down, they told his wife that your husband has said he feels so strong. So when he's flying back, he's going to come in style. Please prepare for him stones, prepare for him knives, prepare for him axe, prepare for him all the hard things that you can get, so that he can land very well and try to see how strong he is. And the wife was very excited. And that is what he prepared. So when the tortoise came, knowing that he had a soft space to land on, he hit his head on all the rocks and had things, and that is how he lost his life. So the Speaker should be very careful.